So we're here with Beth Porch. Beth, thank you so much for joining us. It's so lovely to have you. I know you're so busy. You've been on nights.
Yes.
You're
Must be exhausted.
You must be totally exhausted. You're also part of the, so you've been at HTB. For how long have you been at HTB?
I've been at HTB for about 5.5 years. I started coming whilst I was a student and I was part of the students group. And then when I graduated, I joined a Connect group with a lot of my friends, and which I still go to. And yeah, part of the 4:30 service. That's part of my life.
Also part of the worship team?
Yes, also part of the worship team.
And you're a paediatric nurse at Great Ormond Street Hospital.
I'm a staff nurse. Yeah, I'm kind of one of the main worker bees on a ENT, Max Fax and Plastics ward, so mainly surgical, and I love it.
At the moment, the world is obviously in crisis with the pandemic. Everybody's thinking about COVID-19. You've had COVID too.
Yeah. My symptoms were fairly mild. You know, I got everything that most people are getting, you know, fever, chills, achy body, proper temperature, and just feeling a bit rubbish. I'm here alone on my own in I live in staff accommodation, so it's just me and all of my housemates who they've also all had it, so we've all had to be quite isolated. So being on your own has been the hardest thing.
You deal every day with people who are seriously ill. I mean, Great Ormond Street has the most serious cases, and how do you cope going in, day out, where there is so much sadness and suffering with these children? How do you keep going?
And so much isolation and fear, I guess, which is now spreading.
I think it was most prominent when I was working on the cancer ward. We went through a really bad stretch actually, where we had 4 patients pass away within a month, which is really bad for even us. And as you can probably guess, you know, it had a massive effect on the team morale. And, you know, when we're coming in and we're just having children passing away, yeah, it's very difficult. But in order to process all of those difficult situations, for me, you know, my faith is incredibly important. I realised I was working a lot of Sundays and I wasn't able to go to church or Connect group, and there was just something wrong inside of me. It just didn't feel right. So then I spoke to my manager and said, can I please make sure I get more Sundays off? And as soon as I prioritised my spiritual health, that massively helped with my mental health and enabled me to actually do my job as a nurse. But also being a musician and being a songwriter, I've written songs since probably I was about 10 or something, and for me it's just how I process my feelings and emotions.
How do you cope with fear? How did they cope with fear? I mean, is that something you feel gripped by? I'm sure the parents must be terrified when they see their children suffering like that.
Oh, absolutely. Like, as you can imagine, it's one of the hardest things, and one of the probably the most important things as being a cancer nurse specifically is supporting parents and families, because it's so difficult, because they were saying, I don't know, you know, what's going to happen to my child? Is my child going to die? I've had parents say that to me, and I can't say yes or no, because a lot of these kids have got, you know, pretty bad prognosis or really bad types of cancer, and so chances are quite high that they are going to pass away. But of course you can't say that to them. You just say, we don't know what's going to happen. But for me, the most important thing is, I always say to them, look at your child, look at your baby, and are they okay right now? And a lot of time they're peacefully sleeping, and I say, that's the most important thing, that you are here with them. Look at them right now in this situation, and they're okay because you're here with them, and your love is keeping them going. So I think for a lot of parents, that's a really comforting thing, to know that they just need to be there. They don't need to be a perfect person. They don't need to have all the answers. They just need to be there for their child. And
you started singing to the children. Just say about how that came about and what you did.
So when I was a second year student, I had a placement on one of the cancer wards, and there was a little boy who had a guitar in his room, and one of the music teachers was coming round to teach him to play, but unfortunately they don't come round all that often. And so one of the nurses at morning handover said, oh, I wish I could play so I could teach him. And I was like, oh, I could teach him. And as a student, you have significantly more time than a qualified nurse, so I would just go in and start to teach him, and I would bring my guitar so we could play together. And then after a while he was really quite unwell, so he didn't have the strength to actually, you know, press down on the strings. So then I'd just say, oh, would you like me to play for you instead? So I would just play for him, and all the other parents would hear and they say, oh, could you come into my child's room? And then I just end up kind of going around all of the rooms playing for all of the kids. Yeah, and it's just kind of gone from there. I'm just kind of known as the singing nurse, and that's just what I do.
And you were invited to go on Britain's Got Talent?
I was indeed, yeah.
The audition was last Saturday night. They showed the audition.
Yes, they did indeed.
So let's have a look at what happened. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. What a reaction!
Oh, extraordinary! Not a dry eye in the place, and actually with us too. And I've listened to that a few times.
Yeah,
I loved the
wept through it.
Yes, we really did. And Amanda Holden said you have a God-given gift, and that you are a literal angel in every way. And I think that's a very beautiful way to describe you, and a very accurate way to describe you.
I mean, it is such a compliment, but I don't see myself as an angel or a hero, or I'm just kind of I'm doing my job, even though my job isn't just a job, you know.
Amazing. And that they've allowed you to release the single, and the proceeds are going half to the NHS and half to Great Ormond Street.
Not the fact that you weren't there, or you weren't at home watching it, but you were watching the actual the show, the recorded show from work.
I was.
Most of your nurses
on night duty.
On night duty.
On night shift, yeah. It was my final night of 3 night shifts, and everyone was like, "You're working tonight," and I was like, "Do you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, because I would otherwise just be here on my own, isolating." And at least when I was at work, I was with all of my colleagues who have seen me play, and they know that I play for all the kids, and it's kind of where my musical journey has started. So it just felt really right that I was actually at work when I watched my audition.
Oh dear, I can't see you anymore.
Nikki gets a bit emotional.
Oh, bless you. I'm a Nikki.
I think all the other nurses are so proud of you, and doctors and everybody at Great Ormond Street. I mean, you're such an example to everybody.
You've been a backing singer in the HTB Worship Group, and now you'll probably be #1 in the charts and win Britain's Got Talent. Thank you so
amazing.
much.
You are an angel.
You really
so
are.
Much for having me.
Thank you for taking time in your unbelievably busy life.
Joy, absolute joy.
All Great Ormond Street and all your newfound.
We're cheering you on in every way and praying for you.
Thank you, guys.